Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your main man, the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe, Uncle Freezy. I'm joined by still the real AD. Your man so smooth, he does not require a chaser. It's AD. AD is in the building. What's good, boss?
Uncle,
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good
Good, good,
morning.
good.
Salute, Nick Nation.
Salute, Nick Nation.
Absolutely.
Let's get to it, bro. Let's get down to the
Well,
nitty gritty.
geez, I mean, Freeze, I haven't seen you for a minute. I mean,
Yeah, man, it's been crazy.
we've been off. I mean, people wondering,
Like, what's
like, what,
going on?
what's going on?
And I, and
Are they on? Are they off? What's the deal?
But the odd thing is, I've been telling people the whole time. I was like, yo, for like a month, I was like, yo, on such and such day, around such and such time, I'm gonna be gone because the missus had breast cancer,
Right. Oh,
and we
I'm
was
sorry.
gonna go through, what I'm saying, this thing. And I've been telling everybody, hey, listen, this certain week, I'm just
Mhm.
not gonna be here. I gotta be with the missus. You know what I'm saying? And people, and I'm telling people, I'm even sending text messages like, yo, I'm not gonna be here such day. And then when such day come, you know, the missus got like
Well,
tubes and bandages and all this stuff. And cats hit me like, yo, where you at? Where you supposed to be rocking it? Time.
we're gonna put it out there for Nick Universe to you know, keep Miss Mocha in our prayers and so forth.
For
Because
sure.
even the unseen supporters and so forth are extremely important to the operation and so forth. So we're gonna definitely put out the good vibes and so forth from Miss Mocha. Miss Mocha, we haven't seen you yet. Hopefully you're gonna grace the screen one of these days, and we're
Yeah.
gonna chop it up on something un Nick, un old school. Yeah,
Related.
with, with,
Hopefully.
with Miss Mocha. But yes, so it's a lot's been going on for the last 2 weeks and so forth. Where do you want to start?
I'd like to start with what the hell are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, bro?
How many words you want me to answer it in?
I would like for you to, because here's the thing. Here's the thing with
And when you say we, are you including me in
yes,
this?
yes.
And what's we exactly? Who are the we are we talking about?
I'm asking you, the man so smooth he does not require a chaser, what we are gonna do about this roster.
I just shared a moment with Nick Universe a while ago that we didn't need you to see. We're not gonna do nothing. What are you talking about?
What?
There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. The the Knicks are happy, since for the past 2 weeks since we haven't been on and so forth, just looking around the league and getting a feel and even watching the team because I've watched them, throughout preseason and they've looked good.
Right.
I saw Grimes came back and so forth, and Obi you know, looks like Obi. Looks
Mm,
more he looks more comfortable with the ball. I'll say that.
right.
He definitely looks a lot more comfortable with the ball. Like you're gonna see him do some things with the ball in his hands, not just a dunk and a catch.
Um.
So, but
So for those,
there's nothing to do,
we
Freezy.
gotta we gotta do something. Ad,
Nothing
we
is
gotta do
happening,
something.
especially before the season. You know, so you're talking about the earliest is when. When can they do anything with contracts and so forth? What I think is December 15th or something. Is that
Uh,
still the rule or something
yeah.
like that?
For people that have signed, for people that sign new contracts, you gotta wait
Right,
90 days
right.
or 60
And
days or whatever it is.
and more than likely they're not going to do anything then. So it's it really depends upon what are they looking like at that point after 90 days, and then what are they looking like after 180. See, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. It's the 180 mark, but this management hasn't shown, outside of the Derrick Rose maneuver 2 years ago, they haven't really shown like, we're going to go out and get a piece that can work or energize, or a piece that we all like. Yeah. So we can go there now with the Cam situation. Right. Because if we're gonna say the truth, whatever, everybody was not on board with the Cam. Whatever Cam turns out to be, okay? And I'm not here to argue that. We're not gonna turn this into a Cam Hive situation.
Right. Right.
Whatever he turns out to be, the one thing I think that we can collectively all agree upon is that everybody was not on base with the acquisition of Cam Reddish. Okay. So you hope that they do something that they're all in lockstep with, right, and that they can get it done. They've yet to prove that they put their eyes on something. It's a done deal.
I understand where you're coming from. I get it. But
so those dreams you were selling yesterday, them wolf tickets, them dream tickets you were selling yesterday, you doing Nick Nation. I'm still here for y'all. Okay, let's never get this twisted. I'm never gonna be in an NBA conversation and let people shit on the Knicks. Like, nah, that's never gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? The ties run too deep. But let's not sell fan base wolf tickets, that this team, this management is gonna do something. The conversation started with you and I off stage, with you saying, is this the worst management that we've ever seen in the Knicks? Right? That was the question.
That is the question.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. It's the worst. It's the worst as far as impact and how to utilize the resources that you have.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right.
I'll go there with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like you know what I mean? It's like you being in a gunfight and you looking for your knife.
Yes.
And you got a gun.
Oh my God. I understand where you're coming from, right?
They got all the bullets in the world.
I'm not bashing the front office. I'm merely pointing out the fact that of all the dudes they've drafted, only one is a double-digit scorer. Of all the dudes they've drafted thus far, none of them are starting. I'm not bashing the front office, but of all the draft picks that they've accumulated, none of them are attractive. And as I say that, I'm doing the nothing but Knicks fantasy basketball draft. That's why I'm looking down, y'all. Hey, I need a guard. Who would y'all take? Would y'all take SGA, De'Aaron Fox, or Jamal Murray? SGA, De'Aaron Fox, or Jamal Murray? Come on, chat. Hurry up. Y'all got to hurry up. I'm in the draft.
I would take SGA right about now.
You would take What?
Yeah, I would take SGA right about now.
AD.
Not that I'm not out there with you and your wolf tickets nonsense. But I would as far as fantasy, because that's where we live in this Knick world. We live in fantasy.
Wait a minute. So I took Jamal Murray, right? And so here's why. Here's why. Because you said, when I said the Knicks need to trade for SGA, you hit me with a text message that was so straight to the point that I had to read it. I had to go off in a different section of the house and read it by myself. I couldn't let another set of eyes look at it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, if you dislike SGA that much, or the
No,
move for SGA,
it's nothing with SGA.
okay,
See, that again, that's where like most Knicks fans, you're clouded.
okay,
This had nothing to do with SGA.
ow,
This has something to do with you thinking that, you know, the 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 handle that's attached to the spoon in the pot will actually stir the spoon.
right, yep. I can't help it. I get like that sometimes.
They're just they're not about that life.
But why
They're not.
though? Why though? This is
They're not about that life. When the owner comes out and gives them a pat on the back and says, "Well, hey, you know, thumbs up on that Donovan thing. You know,
right,
you guys are you are okay."
right.
Okay, and we're not even gonna talk about all them other names because we don't got enough time in the show.
We ain't got
today.
no time.
We don't got enough time in the show. We don't got enough time in the show. But you know, I was hoping that we were gonna be able to do at some point a season preview, a good NBA season preview. But the season starts in what? A couple of days. Was it Tuesday night?
So you want to preview the season right now?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Who you picking?
Okay. All right. So
let's just go straight to it. Who's going to be in the finals?
I'm thinking the NBA champions this year. I think the NBA finals are going to be the Boston Celtics and Memphis Grizzlies. It's the same group I picked last year. The Boston Celtics and Memphis Grizzlies.
The league is hoping and praying you're wrong.
Right. But
the league is hoping and praying you're wrong.
But
the league want to be so far away from Boston right now. I wouldn't. If I was Boston, I would summon the videos for all of our games after the season is over to see how the games were officiated.
Oh, I get your point.
I would absolutely right now.
Right.
Boston is like, and Boston, which is a foundation piece.
Yep.
Is such a stain right now. The league that from them, I'm like, nah, I got to make sure everything is on the up and up.
Yep. Yep.
Got to make sure everything is on the up and up.
Yep.
But I don't know who's coming out of the West, but I think Milwaukee's definitely coming out of the East.
I'm telling you who's coming out of the West right now. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, I mean, it's not as clear cut for me.
How?
It's not as
what
clear cut for me.
What are they missing? What are they missing?
They're still missing a shot maker.
Really?
They're still missing a shot maker. They're still missing. That's what lost it against Golden State.
Okay.
At the end of the day, and this is what I try and say, people, defense is great. We grew up on defense, right? We grew up in the 90s. We grew up on defense and so forth. Today's game, it's offense.
It's different, right?
It's different.
Right.
You have to have guys that can make shots that you can count on. Yeah. That's consistent, that you can count on, that can make shots.
Right.
And yeah, you want to be able to have a stop here and there. Of course, the game hasn't changed that much where you're not looking for a stop, but which is more important, the stop or the score?
Yeah.
It's the score.
Yeah.
It's absolutely right now the score. So for me, I'm taking Milwaukee. I picked Milwaukee last year. I picked Milwaukee the year before.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is Giannis is the best player in the league.
Yes.
Milwaukee has been the best team overall over the last several years. If it wasn't for Middleton getting hurt, Milwaukee would be champs. Or they would have shown a lot better than Boston.
Right. And you know what? I absolutely understand where you're coming from, sir. But I'm here to tell you that the Grizzlies have more shot making than what you're giving them credit for.
I'm not downing them. I just think they you see, I like the point guard. Okay. But
Right.
here's the thing when with part of his play that he's gonna have to learn in order to make that next step. You don't have to go all the way to the basket on every play.
Okay.
See, Allen Iverson tried that, it didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Just didn't work.
RJ Barrett tries that, it don't work.
It's not gonna work. You have to have some finesse in your game. I was watching a little bit of last night. Some of my family and friends came over and we were playing poker. Shout out to them, right? And before they came, I was watching some of Atlanta. Was it Atlanta, Utah, something like that? But anyway,
right.
They were talking about the contrasting styles between Murray and Young. Like Murray is gonna be, the mid-range. Young is more so of the 3 points and beyond and so forth. And
Right.
during the game, Murray was hitting from those ranges.
Right.
So it's about knowing where you're going.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Like knowing like what you're gonna do well.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from.
So when I watch the Memphis and with the point guard and so forth, he doesn't have that yet. Like he doesn't need to. Okay, I do this well, which is attacking the rim, and I'm gonna consistently do it. It doesn't work.
Right.
You have to be able to get something more in your game, more in your arsenal.
I think that is where we diverge. Because Memphis can legit spread you out and either make you defend Ja Morant 1-on-1 or give up a three-pointer to a wide-open Danny Green, Desmond Bane, or Zaire Williams.
True, but when the game breaks down for them, they go back to Ja. I'm just talking about Ja. I'm not talking about the rest of the pieces. I'm with you with the rest of the pieces. I love the other pieces that they got. Right? I'm just talking about Ja, and as far as him being the catalyst and him taking that team for them to get to where they need to get, he's got to be the catalyst. He's got to take that next step. I'm talking about the pieces that I see in his game that it's not going to work. It's those things. I'm not talking about the rest of the team and what they got. They are loaded.
They are loaded.
But at the end of the day, they're only going to get there as if Ja gets them there.
Bruh, I'm telling AD, this kid, Zaire Williams, is the truth.
Okay.
A 6'9" silky. He'll remind you of Jim Jackson. And I know everybody in here don't remember Jim Jackson out of Ohio State, right?
Much better at Ohio State.
yeah. But I'm saying, but his silky smooth jumper, silky smooth and fluid for his size. He's 6'9", 200, very athletic, but doesn't depend on athleticism, depends on fluidity. Easy going. And then they have Desmond Bane, the bruising wing player, knocked down 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Great defender.
Yes.
And then they have the Long Island legend, North Carolina Tar Heel, Danny Green. And we all know what happens when Danny Green shows up. When Danny Green shows up to a championship contender, guess what happens? You win championships. And it's not just random either, right? It's not just random. This dude showed up in Cleveland, San Antonio, Toronto, when this dude shows up, you become a legit contender. And they have Danny Green, right? They have Danny, and then if you decide to just bang on the perimeter, they have Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams. This roster is so built so perfect that it's almost scary.
What happened last year?
They didn't have Danny Green last year. Zaire Williams was a rookie last year.
So okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that Zaire Williamson and so forth and Danny Green, another year under their belt with the same cast of characters is gonna help them get to the next step.
Yep, they are gonna cook.
Okay. I think you're wrong, but if I had to choose somebody out the West, I would say I'd take Golden State again. So I guess I'm saying Golden State, Milwaukee, with Milwaukee taking it all.
So you don't respect Dallas.
I respect Dallas, but I gotta see more from Dallas. Okay. And I'm glad you said that, because I was actually gonna opt to watch them last night. And I gotta see more of Dallas. It's like they went out, they got the kid from Houston. What's his name again? What's his name? Wood, yeah. The big man who was rumored to the Knicks a couple of years ago and so forth. And right. I like his game, but was that enough? Hardaway Jr. coming back, is that enough to get them to the next step?
Right.
Can we were talking about Luka last night, and right. One of my cousins said that he didn't think Luka was top 5, and he rolled off like 5 names.
What?
He rolled off 5 names, right? And here are the names he rolled off.
Cuzzo, stay off that yak after 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But we was lit. We was absolutely in another stratosphere last night. Right. Shout out to my cousin Val. Yeah, so he rolled off, was it KD, LeBron, Joker,
Giannis.
Curry,
and
Giannis.
Yeah.
Was the 5. At first, that was my reaction. At first, I was and I was like, well, I think at this stage, I'm taking him over LeBron. At this stage, no disrespect to LeBron, but LeBron is older now. So if I'm starting this season coming in, I'm definitely taking Luka over LeBron.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not even worth discussing.
Yeah,
Luka fills up the entire stat box.
I'm telling you that if Luka was on the Lakers instead of LeBron, that team is in the finals.
Okay, I can see it because he can do more. At this point, and you can depend on him more. LeBron at this point, and he's still good. He what do you have? 30 last season, 8 assists, 7 rebounds or whatever. But he plays, and this is no knock. I know people have said that I'm a LeBron hater over the years and so forth. But this is no knock on him. But his game, especially now, he's taking more threes.
Yes.
So he's going way more finesse.
Yep.
Okay. And don't ask him to play defense more than a couple of minutes.
Nah, he ain't playing. No,
ask him to play more than a couple of minutes. No. But his IQ is such that he still can affect the game, positively as long as he's not hurt, as long as he's playing.
Right.
Their major problem out there is that their 2 big stars are brittle at this point.
Very.
AD was always brittle.
Yep.
Okay. You got your 2 top guys are brittle, and then your back half, you have Westbrook, can't shoot.
Right.
And another crazy man who him and Westbrook at some point they're gonna have it they're gonna fight.
At some point, yes.
At some point, I don't care if they're coming out of the cafeteria. Whoever brushes up against who, guaranteed.
Blows.
At some point, they're gonna have their moment.
I'm here to say,
why did they make that happen? This mind-boggling. That sounds like something the Knicks would do.
I would trade for him, bro.
Who?
Westbrook.
Now? No.
Yes.
Gosh. No.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Right now.
Okay. What? Just to get his contract?
Yes. And those future picks.
Okay. What? I'm moving Randall? They taking Randall?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in.
And Fournier. And Fournier. Randall and Fournier for Russ and those. And East Blucher said I'm crazy. I would do it. And listen, I love Randall, right? So I love Randall, right? But I would do that Westbrook deal coming off the books next summer for Randall and Fournier. And I love Randall, bro. Y'all know I love Randall. And I like Fournier also. Right?
Okay. Since we're here.
Some might say Fournier is my son. Fournier is Uncle Freezy's skinny son. We kind of look alike. I'm the fat daddy of Evan Fournier, right? But listen, the thing is,
the father.
yeah. He hit me with that yellow envelope. I'm like, man, you gonna hit me with the yellow envelope in front of all these people?
Look! Don't let Miss Mocha reach out and bust you in the back of the head with the frying pan this morning.
Yeah.
I've seen family have some of the best violent moments on a Sunday morning.
On Sunday morning.
On a Sunday morning. So
on Sunday morning.
Don't let it happen. But why would you? Before we even go there, because you mentioned his name and so forth, and you're a Randall guy. So give me your thoughts
on Randall.
Randall, if you could predict as far as his season, what does it look like?
20-10 and 5.
Got that.
Yep, 20-10.
But 5. Is it last year's 20-10 and 5, or is it the previous years or closer to the previous year's impact?
I think Randall's 20-10 and 5 is going to be All-Star game, most improved player level, MVP votes. So I'm thinking with Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle reverts back to what Randall can be with a point guard. With any big power forward can do with a point guard, those are Randall's numbers. And I'm including Giannis and Anthony Davis. With any big power forward with talent, because Randall is talented. Let's not get it twisted. Randall is talented, right? Right? So Randall is talented. What I'm saying is Randall can be 22 and 11 with like 6 assists a game with Jalen Brunson, right? The only thing is if Jalen Brunson somehow gets injured or is wildly ineffective, his impact is not felt, then Julius Randle goes back to last year's Randle. But with a point guard, he's all-star level Randle.
Okay. That's fair. But what does that mean for the Knicks? Big picture this season.
That means it is what I predicted at the beginning of the show. That means the Knicks are a 50-win team that gets beat in the first round by a better roster. So that means the Knicks are probably the 5 seed, play the 4 seed, and get beat by Philly, who's got 2 generational talents. We will probably the gentleman sweep to Philly 4-1.
Okay.
And then when the offseason comes, we'll be mad as hell because now in one of the deepest drafts ever, we not close enough to the top to draft anybody.
Okay.
And now we look back at this 50 wins like,
Okay.
what the hell were we doing?
Okay. See,
because the thing is, there are a lot of teams this season that could care less about being the 8th seed when they can go after Victor Wembanyama. If I could tell you, you could. If I told AD, hey, AD, listen, you could throw away this season, right? But when the draft come, you can get you a 19-year-old Kevin Durant at 7'4" or 7'2". You be like 7'2" Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant at 6'10" is too much. A 6'10" Kevin Durant is top 25 all-time player. But then you talking about a dude that's 7'2" that can do. Wait a minute. It's either that or make the playoffs and be the 7 seed, 6 seed, 5 seed. Teams like I'll take my chances on getting Victor Wembanyama over getting steamrolled by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round.
Here's the thing, Freezy. And I can't be a hypocrite. Right? When I was rooting hard and heavy, I want to win.
I want to win too.
I want to win. I don't care how you get into the playoffs. I want to win. But I'm ambidextrous enough in my thought process that I can pivot when the shit is not going to go right.
Right.
You see, last year, I would have pivoted on that season.
Right.
Why? Because they were picks up at the top of the draft or whatever you believe that was the shit is already sinking.
Okay.
Right? So It doesn't make sense to win a game here or a game there, which is going to affect our draft positioning and affect how we think about using it. Because remember, we punted on the pick. You see what I'm saying?
I understand that.
You see what I'm saying? Their thought process and how they see attacking this thing here is we're gonna do it with the more NBA ready type of players. Okay, we'll get to the playoffs or we'll get close enough to the playoffs, and we'll think about how we're gonna add pieces in the off season. You've done that 2 years. Okay? You've come away with Brunson. You came away with your son. So it's back to the original argument of what we were talking about. They're incapable of taking a successful season and galvanizing it. Adding a piece or two for going for it.
Okay.
Whether you believe Atlanta is correct for trading 3 number ones for DeJounte Murray,
right?
Okay. I know of several Knicks fans that was clamoring, that was starting that rumor like a year ago that DeJounte Murray was available.
Okay.
And people were going, "Oh, you crazy? 23-year-old point guard, he's not available." Come to find out, he was.
Right.
Okay. So what do you do with a 50-win season, Freezy?
You go in the playoffs and you try to win.
No. We win 50 games. We get knocked out of the first round. Or, excuse me, the Knicks win 50 games. They get knocked out in the first round. Okay.
They get steamrolled by a better roster. By a better roster.
What do you do there? See, this is what they did. They went out and got Fournier and a man suffering with Bob.
Right. Let me tell you. Let me answer one question at a time. So what Dolan's gonna do after the 50-win season is give Tom Thibodeau a contract extension. Oh, and the front office is gonna get contract extensions because they won 50 games and made the playoffs. Because 50 games is hard to win in the NBA. Right? So you give Tom Thibodeau a contract extension. because we love Tibbs for winning 50 games with this ragamuffin roster. And it is a ragamuffin roster because you don't know who the best players are. Is it the veteran players or is it the young players? Who do you invest in? Do you invest in the veteran players do you invest in Brunson, Randall, Fournier to drag this team to the playoffs and win 50 games? Or do you pivot and invest in the kids and then take minutes away from Fournier and Randall, lose less games, but instead of winning 50 games, you win 42 games and you still make the playoffs?
He's not going to do the latter.
I know this. And I understand that.
We could put the latter away. Okay? Even if he was, okay, let's pick out another player here. Quickly. People were dying. How could you put so much in a trade? Quickly is this, quickly is that, he's this, he's that. If Quickly was that, there would be no need for Rose. Right?
Yes.
Because a man who's not going to play more than 15 good minutes per game, right? Who's not going to play more than 15 good minutes per game in year, what is this, 16, 17?
Okay.
Or 18? You can't best a player that's closer to the end than the middle.
In the middle, right. Now, I'm
who hasn't played 60 some games in 10 years.
Right.
Or maybe once in the last 10, 11 years. What does that say for you? Quickly. What does that say for the Knicks and how they value young players, not because they're yours and you draft them, doesn't mean they're going to end up on your team. Doesn't mean that they should end up on your team.
That's not fair. That's not fair, bro. Why you bashing? You're not bashing, but you pointing out the facts about Quickly. But Quickly didn't draft himself. The organization drafted Quickly. I'm sorry. The organization acquired the draft rights to Emmanuel Quickly, right? Because you remember he's an Oklahoma City Thunder draft pick, and they acquired the draft picks to Emmanuel Quickly. So, but yeah. But then, so I want the Knicks to win, and I want them to win 50 games, right? But I understand by winning 50 games and getting to the playoffs, and maybe potentially facing the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, we may not match up well with them.
If this management had a track record of being aggressive and going for things, I would say no question, 50 games under this management's record, they're gonna take that and run with it.
Yes,
right? They're gonna be aggressive with it. No. It may be the worst thing for them because they'll get fat, lazy, new contracts, new vote of confidence from the owner, right?
Right.
Here's the extension. You got more time. Notice nobody from this regime in the 3 years that they've been here, even that farce of an interview that he had with Bean, nobody ever mentions championship.
No, of course not. Of course they don't.
Nobody ever talks about championship, Freezy, and how important it is to set the fan base, at least assure the fan base that this is where we're going.
Right.
In 3 years, nobody. Not the coach. Nobody.
I understand.
It's like a disease. Mention championship around here, you fired.
Yeah. Well, What I'm saying is, so first, C. Lee said the conversation is not fair to nobody, but it is fair. I'm a fan, bro. Lee, I want to win 50 games. I want to win. Lee, I want to win 50 games.
It's not fair.
Why is it not fair to want your franchise to win? I don't understand how that's not fair. I want my franchise to win. Walter White, thank you for becoming a member, man. Appreciate it. And I mean to say that also, man, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Join the Blorange Tears family, man. Become a member of the joint so that you can get content, man. So we trying to do the best we can. I'm stepping up my game, man. I'm working on OBS right now. Got some new joints coming through. So we're gonna try to put together some dope products for y'all as the season is right around the corner. So AD,
yes,
50 wins, is that out of the realm of possibility for this team? Why am I wrong for wanting this team to win 50 games?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong for it, Freezy. Like what we said, you're not wrong for it. But winning 50, getting a top 4 or 5 seed or whatever, what does it do for you? What do you do after you do that? How do you attack? You know what I mean? This is old school Knicks, right? Okay.
Right.
I remember when the Knicks won, when they took the Bulls to 7 games, and was that the 92 season? Right, when they still had
that's the best team. That might be the best Knicks team in recent memory. That 92 Starks was in his bag, bro.
No, that Starks coming off the bench. Gerald Wilkins was the starter. Right?
Yeah.
Wilkins was the starter. That's the Xavier McDaniel team. That's the 1 year he played with the Knicks.
That's the 90.
That's the 92.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're right.
And
you're right.
After that,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
No. That's the Jordan sprained wrist season.
No.
Yes,
92 is Ewing sprain ankle coming out in game 6.
No,
when he sprains his ankle and he has his Willis Reed moment.
Yeah.
You know, when he comes back out, but he's pretty much, I think he still had 20 in game 7 or something like that, but he wasn't effective.
Right.
And they got blown off. But the point is, after that season, they had beaten Detroit in round 1.
Yep. Officially wrapping up the Bad Boys era, by the way.
Yes, we closed them out.
Yep.
We closed out that.
Knicks fans, don't ever forget that.
Don't ever forget that.
There are a bunch of eras that we closed out.
Yes.
We closed out the Bad Boys. We closed, and we also closed out the Mike Fratello Atlanta Hawks team. You remember how we used to beat them in the regular season?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, we used to beat
the brakes off of them. The Knicks used to beat the brakes off of them. Yeah.
They look so defeated coming into the Garden, bro.
Yeah. We closed the lights.
Yep.
We closed the lights on a couple of teams, but that one, as I was saying, after that 92 season.
And Philly, the Rick Mahorn Philly team too.
Rick Mahorn and Barkley. Oh, absolutely.
And
we beat the
Johnny
brakes
Dawkins,
off of them.
remember Johnny Dawkins?
Beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, we suffocated the will.
We put the broom. The broom on their court.
Yes.
In the old Spectrum. Closed out the old Spectrum and everything. Absolutely.
Yes.
They know
we beat the will out of that old Sixers team that used to bully us a decade earlier. Yeah. If you remember the early 80s Sixers, they used to just grab our plays out the air and just throw us on the ground, and we were so soft. Yeah. We were so soft that we wouldn't fight back.
No.
Charles Barkley dunked on Bill Cartwright 8 times in a row in one game.
Man, Poppy was 10.
Probably was 10.
but what I was saying was, after that season, the Knicks dramatically changed the roster. Whether we like the Mark Jackson trade for Charles Smith, they dramatically changed the roster.
Right.
Because they thought that, you know what, Ewing was about to be 30, I think. 30 or 31. And it was like, how many more years of top level play do they have with him? We got to make our shot now. We got a coach who's not going to sit around. See, here's the difference, right? Look at this.
I got you.
All right. You think if you had Riley this off season, they would have lost that Donovan Mitchell, with that kind of ammunition,
No.
back then,
No. And here's the thing.
No way.
Danny Ainge and Pat Riley hate each other personally.
No way.
But they still would have worked out a deal.
Yeah, they'd have worked because his presence demanded a pursuit of excellence.
Right.
We may not. I don't give a damn about him in Miami. I'm sure somewhere if my cousin is listening, he's going, there you go with Riley again, blah, 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 right? But
right.
his demand for the pursuit of excellence was like, no, this is how we're rolling.
Right.
And if you'd have gave him all of this cap space and money, right? And that kind of star talent, the only reason why they didn't get it done, they didn't have the necessary pieces to get it done.
Right. Okay. All right.
Well, in Miami at least. See, if you flip them around, but you have a coach here who is, do we know what kind of power Tom Thibodeau has?
No. It's unclear. We assume that there is a certain level of authority that he has, and we also know that the front office is going to do what the hell they want to do regardless what Tibbs say. So it's a weird dichotomy. It's like a weird relationship. Tibbs
That's
has
the
power.
difference. If that dude was your coach, if that dude was here, no way.
Right.
There's no way you're making a Cam Reddish deal and he doesn't know about it.
Right.
There's no way.
Right. Right.
Because of what he commands.
I understand. I understand. Just okay. Should I take Evan Fournier right here? Would you draft Evan Fournier?
Who are the options?
Spencer Dinwiddie, Evan Fournier, Isaac Okoro, Davion Mitchell, Ayo Desamu. I'm taking Fournier. I'm a homer.
I like Okoro for some reason. I like that kid.
Yeah,
I like Okoro. I like
Yeah,
that
so-
kid. It's something. I like players that you don't have to start them up.
Yeah, you like the Jared Wilkins type players.
No, he's
That's
not.
what
He's
he
not
reminds
he's
me
not a great shooter. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a young Westbrook coming in.
He reminds me of Wesley Matthews.
Okay, Matthews shoots better.
I'm talking about young Wes Matthews.
Okay,
I'm talking about like year 2, year 3 Wes Matthews.
but he's
Like
the kind of player you don't have to start. He's the
Yeah.
kind of player you don't have to start. You don't got to light his motor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's something to be said about players like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah,
man.
Freezy, I know you're a Knicks fan to your heart. Yeah,
To my heart, bro.
to your heart.
To my heart, bro.
You're wearing your Knicks colors right now to the fleece, to the hat,
early on a Sunday morning.
on a Sunday morning.
Yes.
I get it. But let me ask you something. When do you think you could reach your breaking point with the Knicks?
If they don't go get SGA, I'm flipping out. I'm telling you, if they don't go get SGA, I'm kicking indoors. Right, I'm kicking indoors, throwing chairs and flipping tables, bro. Because here's the thing. I'm not knocking our young talent. I love our young team, but the goal and the progress are on two different timelines.
Yeah.
Right? You have a young team that needs time to develop and play, but your goal is compete in the playoffs. The two things don't go together. It's peanut butter and pickles.
Peanut butter and pickles.
Right. They don't go together, bro. So you have an exceptionally young team that needs time to develop, and then at the same time, you want to make the playoffs and make noise.
How does that work?
And you can't do both.
How does that work?
So instead of saying, yo, Quentin Grimes is gonna lead us to 50 wins, Obi Toppin is gonna lead us to 50 wins, RJ Barrett is gonna lead us to 50 wins. So that's saying Mitchell Robinson is gonna lead us to 50 wins. How about trade away some of these young pieces and go get SGA and start him next to RJ? Brunson, SGA, RJ, Randall, Mitch.
You're just adding.
Hartenstein and
You're
Rose
just
coming off the bench.
all you're doing, Freezy, is just adding another name to the pile. You know how many names are on that pile of you should just make this move and add whatever, just make this move and add to that one, that guy, that guy. It's a lot of names over there in the pile.
I understand that.
It's a lot of names. They're just not. I don't know.
But AD, the difference is because to your point, just let me say to your point, you said there are a lot of names in the pile, right?
Yes.
But on the other option is a bunch of names scattered out. That's what we have. People want to see Cam. They want to see Deuce. They want to see Grimes. They want to see McBride. They want to see Obi. So instead of having them to, Obi Toppin is older than SGA for one, right? Obi is I think they might be about the same age. He's about the same age as SGA, right?
Okay. Obi's 24.
So why,
okay.
yeah, so why,
Okay.
yeah, so why not consolidate that talent into one person you know is a bona fide stud and he's still young.
They're not ready to make that move, Uncle Freezy. And that's just something that you and every other Knicks fan who feels like you do, have to come to grips with. They're not ready to make that maneuver. Last week I'm coming from Atlantic City, right? And I'm having a conversation with someone, near and dear to me. And I'm not gonna blow up his name because he knows he's a butthead. But so we finally get to the crux of where I think a lot of Knicks fans feel stand, which is he believes that they can draft their way to a championship.
Oh, God damn it.
He believes, and I called him on it, and I made him own it. He believes that they can draft their way to the championship. And his example is Golden State. Golden State drafted their core players and blah, 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 blah. But they got all these other pieces to help those core pieces. And that's the closest you can get to is to say Golden State. Okay.
Golden State messed up for a lot of years before they got it right.
Oh my God. It's not even worth discussing their relevancy or their lack of relevancy for 30 years of drafting. Okay? 30 years of drafting. Okay? Oklahoma drafted Harden, KD, Westbrook, what's the big guy? The center.
They didn't draft him. You talking about Steven Adams or Kendrick Perkins?
No, not Adams.
They traded for Perkins.
No, he's
Ibaka.
Yes, Ibaka, and a host of other guys. Right, some of the best young talent over the last 15 years. They drafted them in consecutive years. All they had to show for it is one finals appearances. Okay?
Yeah.
And one of the guys that they drafted, one of the top 12 players to ever play this game.
Okay.
And before 30, he was out of there. You cannot draft your way just to a championship. It is impossible in today's game to think you're going to sit here and you're going to get a KD and a Westbrook in consecutive years and a Harden. It's impossible.
Let me do this just real quick because I think it's it's only fair to the discussion, right? That same team that you mentioned, right? They drafted Willie Green, Luke Ridnour, Nick Collison, David Young, Andre Emmett, Robert Swift. Remember the redhead Robert Smith,
Yes.
Robert Swift, Lawrence Roberts, Johan Petro.
Oh,
They
Jesus.
drafted Johan Halperin, Denham Brown from UConn, Mohamed Sane, Glenn Big Baby Davis, who they traded to the Celtics. They
Okay.
drafted Carl Landry, and
Okay. Carl Landry. Wow.
then they drafted Kevin Durant, and then they drafted Serge Ibaka and Westbrook,
Okay.
and then they drafted Harden, and then they drafted Eric Bledsoe and those guys and traded them away, and then they drafted
drafting
Reggie
is
Jackson.
not a sure science.
The point that I was making there, is OKC got hot in a certain stitch of time and started drafting home runs. But outside of that stitch of time, they were swinging and missing like the Knicks.
They were horrible.
Right. Yeah, that's my point.
Just horrible. And you got to give them this. They hired the right person, because then they hire Sam Presti. He comes in. Okay. You got credibility. You got someone who knows talent, his team, whatever. Whoever was responsible for making those picks, whether it's him.
It was Sam Presti. Sam Presti hit the home runs.
Okay. Fine.
And listen, and Troy Weaver, the dude in Detroit, he was a part of that too. Okay.
Look at Detroit, right? Look at Detroit after they won their championship. Okay? This is not bad boy era. I'm talking about 2004, 2005, 2006 Detroit. All of a sudden, when
Scott Perry era, that's the Scott Perry era.
The Scott Perry, right? Joe Dumars era. At one point, Joe Dumars looked like the wonder child, right? Goes from Hall of Fame career to the front office, wins a championship.
Yep.
When that started to go down, he was hiring like a coach, like every other. Hired Darryl Walker, drafted Lindsey Hunter, this piece, that piece. All of a sudden, they sucked.
Darryl Walker? What Darryl Walker are you talking about? Please don't say the Darryl Walker I think you're gonna say. Please don't.
Okay, your favorite.
Please don't snatch my heart out, bro.
Your favorite.
I used to think
all of these. What he I mean, they went from he went from a period of looking like, player turns good at, it's gonna have a Hall of Fame general manager career. Have you heard from Joe Dumars since?
No.
Okay, all of those giving money to Charlie Villanueva.
Oh,
remember that?
Ben Gordon, yes.
Ben Gordon, both in the same offseason. Okay. I'm not here to tell you that, you can sign free agents and that will be it. No, I'm not here to tell anybody that. But for you to sit here as Knicks fans to think that you can just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and somehow, miraculously, it's going to be your turn. You're going to get to Steph Curry at some point in time. You're going to be Golden State at some point in time. Like it's going to shift for you just because, you know what? It's going to be your turn. I'm sorry. I can't buy that philosophy. You make your luck.
Okay.
The great teams in this league, the Dr. Buses with the Lakers, it wasn't by accident.
No.
They're that successful. He demanded success.
Yeah.
And not only did he demand success, he demanded looking good doing it.
Looking good doing it. And he was going to have a good time. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Where are you going as Knicks management?
So AD, the point I'm getting at to the whole thing is I want the Knicks to win 50 games, right? But understanding that this front office, think about this: in 3 years, in 3 drafts, this front office has not drafted a starter. Chat, think about what I just said. In 3 years of drafting, this front office has not drafted an NBA starter.
And what does it say
And
for?
and just this other thing, real quick. The other thing is all those draft picks, all those picks, right? The Knicks only have one player of all the guys drafted, only one to average double-digit points.
Hey, I want to say something to Mr. Grimes, okay? Because I was one of the first dudes that's on record talking about what I saw in him and his skill sets and what I thought about him. He said something the other day as far as Fournier being the starter and him being okay with that because Fournier has been here and blah 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 blah. Young man, okay? You only gonna be young once in your life.
Yeah.
Okay? That dude right there is in your way.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me help you out. You don't concede the position to him, the time to him. You in my way. You're a better defender. Just defensive, just your defense alone says you should be starting.
Yep.
Okay? Offensively, you want to say he's still a little better than the kid? Okay, fine.
Right.
But why are you conceding the position?
I ain't giving him nothing.
I ain't giving him shit. We gotta take that.
Yep.
Like, what has he done in his career that you're looking at him going, oh, that's Fournier. Yo, Fournier just came in the gym.
Yes.
The Frenchman has arrived.
Right. What are we doing? You parking this car? What's wrong with you?
What are we doing?
You parking Fournier car? Grimes. What are you doing? You carrying his bag?
Well, he's elder statesman. He's been in the league. To ask him this: have you ever been on a winning team, Fournier? I think once.
Maybe.
It's on a winning team. Once.
Yeah, but
Like,
my
that's not the guy. That's not the guy. I'm like,
if it was a Derrick Rose thing,
that's different.
I would still push Derrick Rose down.
Yes.
But at least I would be nice doing it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that frustrates me with this team, AD. We have a bunch of choir boys.
Yeah. There's no Rough Riders. Outside of RJ. I don't think
RJ tough, bro. I think RJ is fake tough.
No, I don't get that. I don't get that feeling from him.
Yeah, RJ. No. I didn't say fake bully. I think RJ fake tough. RJ Barrett is a rich kid. His godfather is Steve Nash. People, don't tell me that RJ Barrett.
Yeah, but I think he still has a chip on his shoulder.
What chip?
I think he has a chip on his shoulder. When I looked at him in the first preseason game, and I'm looking how mature and how developed his physical status is.
I love RJ, bro.
He's someone that's working on his game. The chip on his shoulder is he's not Ja. He's not Zion. He doesn't run fast. He doesn't jump high. The chip on his shoulder is that he has to do more. He's got to do more with less. That's the chip on his shoulder. Yeah, but I think I think it works for him. It's gonna work for him.
You know who got a chip on his shoulder? John Morant. I know where John Morant come from, bro.
Okay.
I seen I seen where John Morant come from, bro. Down in the country, down in something, bro. I seen that. You know what I'm saying? That's
You're talking about RJ Barrett as if he Marvis Frazier. You're talking
yes,
about RJ Barrett as if he Marvis Frazier.
Yes.
Would you stop it?
Yes.
You stop it? Right now.
RJ Barrett.
Right
RJ
now.
Barrett
Right
was
now.
born.
Cut it out.
RJ Barrett was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, bro.
Yeah, but he's not Marvis Frazier.
And I love RJ, but let's not act like RJ is you know what I'm saying? Let's not act like RJ from Mount Vernon and his parents worked at the factory for years and RJ Barrett is the only way out of the hood. Nah.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
I didn't say it was his fault.
Just like it wasn't Grant Hill's fault that his father was who his father was. See what I'm saying?
Calvin Hill, yeah.
Yeah, he got something. RJ does not give off that air as if he's satisfied. And I think that's what you're alluding to. He is not. He doesn't give off that air that he's satisfied. As long as he's not satisfied, as long as he's hungry, Freezy, as long as he's hungry, he's the kind of player that you would need on your roster.
Nah, what I'm saying about RJ is he's a different type dog. That's what I'm saying.
What are you, a poodle?
Nah. What I'm saying is RJ Barrett is a different type dog.
What is he?
You could still be a dog, bro, and not be man, come on, bro. Come on, man.
You need to clarify this. You need to clarify. Are you saying that there's levels to his dogism?
No, what I'm saying is RJ Barrett is tough mentally, and RJ is a go-getter, right? RJ is a go-getter and he's tough. What I'm saying is let's not act like, you know, RJ with all the chips were down against RJ. RJ had the best of everything since day one. The dude been with Chris Brinkley since he was 16.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like RJ Barrett, you know what I'm saying, hasn't had the best of everything.
Yeah, but it's how you make use of it. See what I'm saying? It's how you make use of it. You could have all the best gadgets and technology in the world, and if you don't have a kid who's interested in it, it goes to waste.
Right.
See what I'm saying? It's how you use it. He has not given off that, you know, like he's satisfied. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for me, what I care about in a player, okay? What I care about in a player is, does he want to continue to get better? Okay?
Right.
1, 2, does he come from a winning pedigree? That's why I'm so iffy with Mitch. Okay? Because the Knicks gave him a lot of money from somebody that has not played a lot of basketball.
Okay.
He's played basketball with the Knicks, right?
Right.
You know, his last 2 seasons or whatever. But overall, no college.
Right.
How many high schools did he go to?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, a lot of his basketball has been like his private workouts.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
With people, his private
that's a large
workouts,
investment.
And you don't even know how professional these dudes were that were working him out.
But we saw a lot of video.
But you saw a lot of video.
Right? Not to say that they didn't find one, because obviously they did, because he was a free agent.
Yeah. But
do you plunk down that kind of investment on somebody who doesn't, you know, like, winning is something you're gonna have to teach him? You know what I'm saying? Like those fourth quarter moments where you know you can't be reaching in and you can't get a ticky-tack foul, and they really need you on the floor to make sure that you're the man on that weak side. You know, will he be there? 20 and 12 is nice in the preseason, but he want for me, I look at that young man, I'm like, okay, it is time for you to have average double digits in rebounds. Okay? I'm giving you that assignment. Get 10 rebounds a game now.
Yeah, I think he'll do that.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think he'll do that, because Man, the thing about our squad was pace of play and point guard. So, when you take into account pace of play and point guard issues, what I'm saying? I think RJ, Randall, Mitch, I think the entire starting five will be better.
They look better. Like we started the conversation. I watched a couple of games of them. They look better. Let's see.
But you think okay? I feel where you're going with this, right? My biggest issue is though, I don't know if the Knicks are mentally tough enough to get to this level, to ascend from say 10 to 7. I want them to win 50 games. I think Tibbs is tough enough.
Well, you're hoping
is Obi Toppin mentally tough enough?
We don't know.
Is Cam Reddish mentally tough enough?
We don't know.
That's what I'm asking.
That's what the journey is about. And you're hoping.
What about Julius Randle? Is Julius Randle tough enough?
You really don't know. And that's what you're hoping that, Brunson and RJ can really infuse that throughout the entire lineup, especially Brunson.
You would hope so. Because I think IQ is crazy, bro. I legit think Emmanuel Quickley is institutionally crazy, right? But I say that in a laughing, tongue-in-cheek way. But I think he's mentally tough enough to handle stuff. I think RJ is mentally tough enough to handle stuff. Right?
His game is just too inconsistent. He's a third-year player now. Okay, so what I'm looking from him is being able to, when he comes in the game, to get the other players in their sets. To run the offense, to not necessarily look for his shot.
Right.
You know how defeating that is when the point guard is consistently looking for his shot.
And his shot only. Yes.
Okay. So
I'm trying to figure
it's going to be an interesting season.
It's going to
definitely
be
it's going to be a very good NBA season, I think. I think we're going to have some real good games.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think we're gonna have some real good games in it.
So the Memphis Grizzlies are gonna beat the Celtics in the finals. The Knicks are gonna win 50 games. This offseason, Tom Thibodeau and the front office is gonna get contract extensions. We're gonna go into the draft and trade back and not draft anybody in the deepest draft ever known.
And next year you'll be back here at the same position,
saying the same stuff,
saying the same old shit.
Yeah.
And that pretty much summed it up. Yeah, is that 12 months? Is that 12 months? Yeah.
The Knicks are gonna win 50 games, go to the playoffs, and get beat by a better roster.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no harm in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet the better roster should always win, in my opinion. The better roster should always win. Right, but the Knicks will probably lose to a better roster, go to the draft, trade out of the draft. They'll have a press conference. Well, we accumulated 4 draft picks in 2031, and so that gives us 52 draft picks over the next 40 years. I don't give a damn about no damn
to do nothing with it.
I don't care about no draft picks and dudes in elementary school.
Yeah, to do nothing with it. Hey, since the last time I saw you, that we were on, I didn't get a chance to discuss with you because I know you're a big New York Mets guy. Feelings, like what happened there, guy?
So you are basically doing the virtual kick in the nuts. You are virtually kicking me in the nuts right now. I feel it. I feel it.
I mean, we haven't been on in a minute, and the people like when we Bob and we, dip in the
Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge.
What about him?
We have the richest owner in baseball. Mm-hmm. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So we just go after Aaron Judge.
Ain't think the Yankees are stupid enough to let Aaron
Mike
Judge.
Trout. We're gonna trade for Mike Trout and sign Aaron Judge.
I'm not even a baseball guy like that anymore, and that was pointed out to me the other day.
Let's go Jets. Let's go Jets. We're gonna trade for Mike Trout and sign Aaron Judge. Let's go.
Hey. The New York Jets right now they're like Jeremy Lin was 10 years ago. They're about to take the city by storm. But the only thing is that they're not gonna flame out.
That should be their name, the New York Storm.
The New
I wonder if there's another team. I wonder if there's another. They should be the New York Green Storm. I wonder if there's another team in a city with the nickname Storm that also ain't doing nothing.
Yep. But being that I touched on it, it's 10 years since Linsanity. I was actually watching his documentary the other day, the original documentary that they did like back then. Thoughts, sir? Because I saw him, but hold on, before your thoughts, I saw him on with your boy Macri. Okay. Macri had an interview with him like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
For about a half an hour and so. And pretty good interview, right? Except for, and I'm not knocking Macri, but I guess I am. So let me just go ahead with it.
That's my guy. Shout out to Knicks Film School.
Yeah, but let me just go ahead with it. He didn't do good business with the Knicks. Okay. And the part where why he's no longer, or why he wasn't with the organization anymore during that free agency period, whatever, he just literally like freewayed it and went so over it and didn't touch it. And I'm like, that needed to be touched on, right? Because the Knicks went into that offseason relatively confident that they were going to re-sign Jeremy Lin, who probably was the best point guard that the Knicks had, or talent that the Knicks had since, I don't know, Marbury, right? When we talk about point guards for the Knicks, as far as from yesteryear, his name is never brought up. Why? Because of the bad business dealings that he did with the Knicks. It took 10 years for the Knicks to rebroadcast some of those exciting games. And in that interview, he didn't why? Why in the last minute did you decide to backdoor the Knicks and go to Houston when it seemed like,
first of all, Houston already had a lead guard.
Okay.
You gotta remember the context. Like, remember the time, like things going on. The Houston gets a guard from Oklahoma City, and instead of just being a Jeremy Lin type guard, he looks like a generational talent. Right? And I'm talking about James Harden. This is the Chef Harden days. Right? Jeremy Lin takes that money to go there because he's securing his future, his financial future. He's not thinking about his NBA career. Right? But AD, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying about Jeremy Lin, but I'm actually queasy, sick to my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm queasy, sick to my stomach, is because only the Knicks talk about a guy like Jeremy Lin as if he's Magic Johnson. I like Jeremy Lin, and I like that era, right? But it shows a sign of desperation where a dude that did that, Linsanity lasted for a quarter of a season, right?
Yes.
A quarter of a season.
He played 30 games with the Knicks.
Right. And we talk about Linsanity as if we're the Celtics drafting Lin Bias. Right? Or as if we're the Atlanta Hawks drafting Dominique Wilkins. Right? Not, bro. Linsanity lasted for a minute. But because I had this same conversation with Todd Barbie, right? Todd Barbie was like, "Yo, how do you feel about Linsanity?" I was like, "I don't. I liked it, but right now, I'm not. I'm not head over heels for Linsanity." Right? My favorite Knicks underdog story has been and will always be John Starks. Right? And I understand Linsanity, but before Linsanity, John Starks was the story. John Starks actually did something for the Knicks, right? John Starks actually did something for the and my sadness, my personal sadness, and I'm not trying to sway the chat. Chat, I know y'all listening and you thinking like Uncle Freezy, you crazy. But this is my experience. I'm not trying to throw a narrative out there and sway y'all my way. I'm telling you, my experience is that outside of Clyde Frazier and Earl the Pearl, the Knicks at guard historically have been awful. And there have been some blips on the radar, like Allen Houston, like
I don't know about awful freezing.
like there have been blips on the radar, like Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Stephon Marbury. But outside of that, we get an F for guards, because every time you say Mark Jackson, I can bring up Chase and Randall. Every time somebody say Ron Strickland's 110 games as a Knick, I can bring up Tony Douglas, Alexei Sved, Torrey Murray, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Frank Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr., Austin Rivers, Darryl Walker, Trent Tucker. Tell me, most franchises have at least 3 guards that are Hall of Fame worthy, right? Most franchises have 3 guards that are Hall of Fame worthy within the last 50 years or so.
They have 3.
The Knicks are talking about
They got 3.
Oh.
They got 3. 3. They definitely have 3
in the last 50 years.
Yes.
And we are up here talking about a
they only
Jeremy
have,
Lin.
But here's the thing, though, Freezy.
The Toronto Raptors could say they had DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and they came in the league in 96.
You're right. I'm with Freezy. I'm with you. Right? I'm with you. But New York gets into a thing just like with Frank, just like with Cam, and for a large extent with Lin. I get it. Lin brought, the Asian community, they had someone to cheer for, basketball and so forth, his stories, it's a real underdog story, right? Okay. But my thing with it is it's the bad business, okay, associated with the Knicks. And again, them being unable to close.
Okay.
Think about it. Over the last, as you say, 50 years or whatever, who have they closed on?
Nobody.
I
take that back. They closed on Marvin Webster. Human eraser. They closed on Jalen Brunson.
They closed on They closed on Melo. But outside of that,
but he was here already.
No, but what I'm saying is, outside of that, they don't have a history of closing. Like 1 or 2 managements has a history of pulling off, the Busher trade, the Oakley trade,
the Charles Smith trade. Yeah, I feel you.
The Sprewell trade, although it jettisoned Starks at the time, but they don't have a history of positive trades. And you can't win. You don't have a history of positive trades. You don't have a history of positive free agent signings, positive draft picks.
And it's even in 77 years. In 77 years, the Knicks have had 2 good centers.
3.
You count Mitch.
No, I'm counting Tyson Chandler. And 4 if I throw Camby in there.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'm counting those guys. I'm counting.
Oh, right. So I'm wrong on that because I was thinking longevity. I was thinking like 5-6 years. But if you counting them, then over the years we have we've had some good centers for like 1, 2, 3 year stretches.
It's about when you get pieces. We touched on this before. The Knicks got Bob Mcadoo at age 26.
MVP of the league.
Take a look at Bob McAdoo Buffalo Brave numbers.
Right.
Sick.
And we traded him
at 26 years old,
yep.
And you don't know what to do with him. You've heard me use that phrase before.
Yep.
You trade for Carmelo at 26 years old. You don't know what to do with him. It's not the player's fault that you acquired him. Right. So is he supposed to then orchestrate the trade, orchestrate the pieces to to play around him and do what? And do what else? Huh? He's supposed to hire the trainers. He's supposed to what? Prepare the meals,
park the cars.
Yeah. What else? Sing copies. The national anthem. What else?
Yeah. Back then they had copy machines, right? So he had to make copies too and make coffee. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
I understand.
You get a gem. You get a gem like that. You go out, you get a gem. It's like we've talked about this many times, like when you go out and whatever she looks like for you, to you, whatever, but she means that to you, and you got to go and stake that claim and make that maneuver and do what you need to do. Right. Only you can do it. And when you get your opportunity, if you fumble it, it's not going to come around again.
Right. You got to be smooth, though. With them ladies, you got to be confident and smooth. You know what I'm saying? That's just But the thing is with us, AD. My point is we celebrate mediocrity so much that it frustrates me, bro. I just want to jump my fat rump out of this window over here. We are replaying Linsanity.
Yes.
Really? Are we that desperate?
Yes.
For moments that we gotta replay Linsanity.
You had to hear the interview. Macri sounded like he wanted to build a shrine to him, yo. I'm like, yo, dude, no disrespect to you, Mac, for real. But that dude played 30 games here.
And I like Lynn. I like Lynn and his backstory. I like where he come from. I like this. But what I'm saying to you is other teams are not. The Washington Wizards are not celebrating when the Philadelphia 76ers are not celebrating game winners by TJ McConnell. You know what I'm saying? The Washington Wizards are not celebrating game winners by Ish Smith.
They're not even celebrating that they once had Chris Webber there for like what, 4 years?
Yeah.
They don't even care about that.
Yeah, man. Y'all think I'll give you an example. Give you another example. Philadelphia was the city known for always having a good point guard. Right? It was like how the 49ers used to always have a good quarterback. The 49ers used to always have a good quarterback, man. Montana, Young, Garcia, Gerback, all of them dudes, right?
Did you call Elvis Gerback a good quarterback?
Yeah, he was.
Are you serious?
He was right. He was right. I meant to say Steve Bono, not Elvis Gerback. Steve Bono. Do. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I said the name Bono, and people don't even remember Sonny and Cher.
Sonny
I
and Cher.
I gotta remember the audience.
I grew up with Sonny and Cher, yo. What?
Yes, the Partridge Family, Sonny and Cher.
Sonny and Cher was hot.
Yes, yes.
When they had variety shows, Sonny and Cher was hot.
Yes.
Yes. Sonny is the original, and although he went on in his career and, I think was he a congressman or something like that or whatever. Sonny was the original Ike Turner.
Yes.
Sonny doesn't get stuff. Yo, Ike gets vilified, and Sonny looks like a good caretaker, right? Because Sonny knew Cher when she was like 15, 16,
Yes.
right? Putting her out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Because if you remember what Cher looked like, especially as a young teenager, she was a really good looking, tall, and like I said, he was the original Ike Turner. He was like, well, what we gonna do here? You got a little talent, you can sing, you can do a little something. Well, okay, all right, I got this. We're gonna build a little situation. Next thing you know, they got a show.
Yep.
Next thing you know, she got a hit record.
Yep. He is a good songwriter. Yeah, he was a good songwriter.
Dude, she's relevant 50 years later? 50, 60 years later?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it starts with who? Rest in peace, Congressman Sonny.
Yeah, man.
Original Ike.
Yep. Yep. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I love, but this Knicks thing, man. I just want to get this thing off my chest, bro. Our guards, historically, bro. Leon Rose, you got to do something, man. God damn it.
You sound like that dude. What was that dude? What was that TV show called? Network? When he's like, yo, I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. And he shoots himself on TV.
Yeah.
Look, don't be shooting yourself here and lie.
I ain't doing. Nah, mentally, I'm in a good place, man. But listen, the thing I'm frustrated with is that the same thing we talk about we've been talking about the same thing for the last 13 years, and we bring dudes in, and they like, I understand. They like customer service. I understand your concern, Mr. Uncle Freezy, and we're doing the best we can. We value you as a customer, but we're gonna go get Rokas Jokabitis. You drafted Rokas Jokabitis before Herb Jones.
Yeah.
And Rokas ain't even coming here.
That sounds like something you got to go to the dermatologist for. Jokas Jokabitis. The fuck is that?
You have a severe case of Rokas Jokabitis.
And for the second year, he doesn't even make camp.
Right.
Waste.
Right.
He got him stashed over there for what?
For nothing.
Oh, to make that run for the next whoever. You got it, Freezy. I've said this before. In any organization, you got to have someone that has vision. My 11th grade shop teacher used to say that to me, and I remember back then his name was Mr. Grudge, and I used to I never really understood he was saying, because he would shorten my last name, so he would go Dunning. Yeah. And he was an old Jamaican guy, and he was like vision. You have to have vision.
You have to have vision, bro.
You gotta have someone in your organization that no one else understands what he or she is doing or whatever, but they have a vision, okay? And this is where they're moving to, okay? Right. And the vision is championship.
Right.
It's not to get to the play-in. It's not to get to the first round. Is to finally win a championship. And if that's not the vision, if that's not what the people you've hired, if that's not what they're talking about, if that's not what's going around the water cooler and the team meetings and whoever your auxiliary pieces are that knows all the players in the water and these team parties and whatever, if you don't have these people who are connected, who are down to the very soles of their feet, thinking about a championship and working towards a championship, it's never going to work.
It's never going to work, bro. But that's my AD. My point is you have, in today's NBA, you have to win with guards. It's a guard-driven league right now, right? In a guard-driven league, you are going out and getting someone to defend these guards. You're going defense instead of offense. And I don't know if this is true today, that defense wins championships. If defense wins championships nowadays, then the direction they're going might be a slow climb to the top. But if a dynamic offensive weapon at guard wins championships, we are barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Freezy, that's what it is. And how dynamic guards don't grow on trees.
Right.
They don't just fall off the tree because it's ripe and you can stand there and catch it. No.
Right.
Okay? You can't necessarily draft. You think Utah knew that Donovan was going to be Donovan?
No.
No.
You gotta take a chance. You gotta take chances. Man.
You think Chicago knew that Michael Jordan was going to be Michael Jordan? No. They thought he was good. They're like, all right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're not playing in college. You're not playing with all these zone, sophisticated defense, and the shackles are off of you. And all of a sudden, now you're who you really are. You can flourish in a wide open game.
Right.
If that's what the team is playing.
Right.
He went from being a good prospect from where? Louisville, a good prospect, okay? Athletic. No one knew that who he
You
was
think Denver knew? You think Denver knew?
No.
Denver
did not know.
Denver drafted him and traded him to Utah.
Did not know.
They could have had Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray in a backcourt.
Okay. And you supposedly have guys on the payroll who's supposed to have this intel.
Right.
See what I'm saying? You're supposed to have this intel. Who have the Knicks drafted or brought in from Europe in these 3 years?
Man, bro.
Okay. How could you leave out the European game as far as for potential players to help you get there?
I'm so frustrated, bro. I could just
See what I'm saying? They're backwards.
AD. So in 3 drafts, they had not drafted an NBA starter. In 3 drafts.
I know.
In 3 drafts, they've only drafted one player that has averaged double-digit points.
Okay.
Right?
So hopefully one of them averages more than double-digit points this year.
Well, I mean, it all depends. You would hope so. You would hope so, right? But in 3 drafts, hey man, I gotta run.
Before you run, how's the fantasy team looking?
Because my fantasy team look like the Knicks.
Look, I'm in 2 leagues. One of my other leagues, I'm looking so bad, but we're gonna turn it around.
No. I'm talking about this is the fantasy basketball league.
Oh, okay. Now
we just drafted our fantasy basketball team.
I'm in two football, and your fantasy basketball league looks like the Knicks.
Yes.
So you're doomed for failure. Is that basically what you're saying?
But I believe they can win. I believe we can win 50 games.
You and this hope, you and this Jesse Jackson thing you got going on with you. Like, where does this come from, yo? Like,
I'm a Knicks fan, bro. I'm a stupid Knicks fan with nothing else to do with my time except root for the Knicks.
You know, I'm always gonna root for them. Like I said before, you know what I mean? I'm never gonna see a Knicks conversation and act like, you know, I'm gonna shit on them and so forth. But it comes a point in time, you gotta show me something, yo. You gotta show me something. Yo, go do something. Go be brave. Go be bold. Go do something.
Do something, bro.
Have you heard that microphone? That shit is loud as fuck.
It's crispy though, but it came in crispy. That's
that new mic.
That shit came in like ABC. I thought I was watching ABC just now when you were talking. Sound like ESPN is around here. So, but yeah, man, let me.
All right, Freezy.
Let me get out of here before I have a meltdown, bro. Okay. I legit am frustrated with these guards, bro. These are the worst set of guards that we had since Darryl Walker and them.
Well, let's keep, you know. Well,
no. You know what? I won't be that disrespectful. I'll say this is the worst set of guards we had since Pablo Prigioni, Alexei Shved, Torrey Murray,
I
Chasing
like
Randall.
Pablo. I thought Pablo was a good player. I like Prigioni.
Defensively.
Prigioni was smart.
Yeah.
He had good quarter whip. But anyway,
Yeah.
Knicks fans, thank you again for
good luck to your fantasy
old
football
school.
team.
Absolutely, all old school Knicks fans and beyond and so forth. Thank you again. We're sorry that we weren't around for the last couple of weeks, but sometimes life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do and so forth. Again, shout out to Miss Mocha. Feel better. Get there.
Mo, they said feel better, Mo.
Absolutely. We praying for you and all that good stuff. Knicks fans, the season starts on Tuesday. Hopefully you guys get a win and so forth. And we'll be here to chop it up on the following week. Uncle Freezy.
Sir. Today, keep an eye out for the Big Boss Man Roundtable. Keep an eye out for the review, and I'm gonna try to do a short preseason wrap-up joint later on. So I'm gonna try to get on and rock, for a minute since I hadn't been around for a few days. Y'all keep an eye out for that, man. I'll give advance notice and all that stuff. AD, as usual, sir, it's been a pleasure. Same time next week.
Look for me in the whirlwind, Knicks fans.
And AD, just real quick before we go, a dude named Hoodie Kev told me that New Edition is better than the Gap Band and groups from the Gap Band era.
Look who you're taking advice from or listening.
Oh! I'm not taking advice.
A man named Hoodie Kev.
No, he said that to me. I ain't listened to it. New Edition, they got like 2 songs.
I love New Edition, but I love the Gap Band. Hey, drop a
Band.
bomb on me, baby. And that song is a tribute to Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Oklahoma, because that's where the Gap Band is from. Yeah. And they made that song a tribute to those people and all those, folks who still haven't gotten the reparations that, but we're not even gonna go there. Anyway, Look for me in the whirlwind, Uncle Freezy. We see you next Sunday. Peace.